to Talk of the Town. I'm Kim Piazza.
And I'm John DeSciullo. Phil Arno is with family this week and sitting in for Phil. I'm honored to be here. And Kim, we'll talk a little bit later more about our children, but we'll start the show with some discussions. I have a teenage daughter, and I know you have teenage children.
I do. I have two teenage kids. The teen years. I think sometimes we're afraid of the teen years.
Yeah, I think a little bit. But there's so many things that are out there that teens can be exposed to, and I'm sure that you, like I, have had discussions about alcohol and
you know what? I try to be
drugs.
really very candid with my kids because, right, I think, in today's day and age, we all know we're not protecting them from something or information.
You have to have real life conversations.
Yeah, everything's kind of got to be out there. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, it's all got to be out there. So, yeah, I do have candid conversations with my kids, and, I hope that they're comfortable enough that if they need to talk about something or want to talk about something that, mom's a neutral enough place to let it all hang out.
Right, and dad.
And dad, and of course, and dad.
Well, one of the reasons that these conversations are so important, and on the website painkillerskill.org, I was reading that 44% of teens know that someone in their world addicted to pain medication. In 2013, this website was started, and it included an aggressive media campaign, including a special we did right here at WBBZ, right here in the studio. And it was at that point that I met a young man who stepped up in the studio audience. He came to see us and shared his personal story. Take a look. We have a very brave man here in our audience. I want to commend you for stepping up. This is Dan.
Yes.
Dan, you've been struggling with addiction.
Yes.
And you're going to share your story. What is your story, and how can you help others?
It started with surgery. I got elbow surgery on my right arm, and doctors prescribed me lower tabs. And I took 3 of them, not knowing the effects, and I loved it. It made all the pain, mentally, physically, go away. And then I sold the pills, and I actually got suspended from school. And not knowing the effects of the painkillers and knowing the outcome later on down the road, I started using it again at work. And it became a weekend thing. And then I went to college and then came back and missed that feeling. And I ended up getting back into lower tabs. They were easy to find. At my end of my run, I was popping 50 lower tabs a day. I'm surprised I'm still here. And then I went into recovery and was good for almost about 2 years. And then I started using heroin because heroin was easier to find on the streets than painkillers. So as of right now, I'm back in the program in a halfway house. And I go to daily self-help meetings. And I got a sponsor, and I have a different outlook upon life this time. So,
how old were you when all of this started?
I think I was 16.
How old are you now?
29.
Long journey.
Yeah, it's going to be until the day I die. If I didn't take myself, which I was close to committing suicide too, but I'm still here to tell my story.
What finally, Dan, made you decide, I have to stop this, I can't continue?
Suicide. I was a coward, so I figured if I don't stop the drugs, either I'm going to overdose or just kill myself, and I just couldn't come to myself doing that, so I figured I'll go to a inpatient rehab and then a halfway house.
I can't thank you enough for sharing your story and how brave you are to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You've helped a lot of people.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing your story. And that gentleman is right here with us on set several years later, Daniel Drought. Daniel, thanks for joining us. Look how much better you look now.
Thank you.
Than you did then. You were in recovery then.
Yes.
And where do you stand now?
I'm 32 right now. I got 2.5 years sober.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's still a daily struggle. It's still a daily struggle. Daily self-help meetings, sponsorship, and living with 2 other sober individuals definitely helped too. Keep me on the right path.
And we should mention you work as a cook, as a sous chef.
Yes.
And that's your profession.
Yes.
And you were involved in that even when you were in your addictive phase,
yes.
because some of the places you were at just kind of led you into a life that just didn't help you.
Yeah, I fell in love with the whole atmosphere, the whole nightlife, the whole drinking, the drugs. It was okay to do that at work. So 15 years of abuse and cooking, it's basically all I know. And now that I've been sober for 2.5 years, I'm starting to enjoy culinary a little bit better. I don't need to drink, I don't need to do drugs to be happy. I'm definitely more focused on my work, and it shows. It got me, a little article in the Buffalo Spree. I've been getting invited to some chef things, that wouldn't happen if I wasn't sober.
Sure, some successes
Yes.
in your career.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting that you mentioned that you have 2 roommates who are sober.
Yes.
So you're spending time with people who sounds like they've maybe been where you've been.
Yes.
And so building a bit of a support system for
Yep.
yourself.
Yep.
And where did you meet your roommates?
In the self-help meetings
Yeah.
that I go to.
So keeping each other on track.
Yep. And that's all this self-help is, it's to identify with each other, what we go through on a daily basis. So it's nice to come home if you have a bad day at work, and they understand what goes on, so they're there to help. So.
Well, and speaking of that, because recently we just experienced Valentine's weekend, and as a cook, it's a busy time in a restaurant, and you had said that all of that work and some of the pain that came with it triggered your brain, like maybe it's time to go back and try that painkiller.
Yeah, I was down in the basement prepping, and I start gets the ache and pains, working a 13-hour day, and I know what painkillers do, and I know if I were to take some, that pain would go away, and I'd be able to function a little bit better and faster, and get more prep done faster. But when I think about that, I think about what comes along with that: homelessness, depression, suicide, no money, the loss of family, the friends, and it's not worth it. The pain's temporary, because when I go home, the pain goes away, I go to bed, I wake up, it's a brand new day. So it's all temporary.
Well, I will stand that moment that we had here in the studio is one of the most powerful in my 30-some year career, for participating in studio audiences. You never see people come and really express themselves and expose themselves the way you did, and I think you've helped so many people just in doing that. We're going to continue here on Talk of the Town, more of Daniel's story of recovery and hope when we come back right after this.